right, in this video we're going to talk about surrealism and how different ways of making art so that it looks surreal. You are going to get a worksheet that looks like this, and I want you to put your name at the top of this worksheet along with your class number or your period number. On this, there are different examples. There are 6 different examples, as a matter of fact, on how you can show surrealism. We're going to go through these with a short slide presentation, and I want you to take some time and put in your ideas on how you could use these different examples. For example, juxtapositioning. When you apply 2 things or put 2 things together that normally don't go together, this is a way to make things unusual or surreal. For example, the background of this eye, where we would normally see the iris, is a sky with clouds. Another example is by Rene Magritte, also called Time Transfixed. And in this, you see this locomotive coming through the chimney, which is just an unusual placement. The second way to make things look surreal is called transformation. Transformation is when objects are changing right before your eyes, and they're changing in an unusual way. For example, Salvador Dali did The Persistence of Memory, and in this you see a bunch of clocks that are just basically melting in front of us in a very unusual way. That is transformation. Levitation is often used to make things surreal. And when levitation happens, you're seeing unusual things floating or possibly falling in an abnormal way. For example, we see these businessmen just very calmly levitating or falling from the sky. Here's another example by Rene Magritte, where we see a giant boulder with castle, and again, it's just floating above the ocean and kind of quite a few yards into the sky area, and that is levitation. The fourth example is transparency, where things are becoming see-through. For example, it's almost like the sky was just basically cookie cutter out of the curtains here, and you see the sky through the curtains. In this example, you see the suggestion of a figure, but the top half of her is missing. The fifth example is scale. This is probably one of the easier ways of making things look surreal, and that is making smaller things gigantic, or even big things looking rather small compared to their normal weights. Here you have a guy mowing the beard, possibly even his own beard. Scott Moore's picture, we have a man sitting at a table, or is it a table? Because there are these giant sandwiches, and that's what he's resting his coffee cup on. But there's also a coffee cup sitting to the side of him that's gigantic. Or then we ask ourselves, is the figure small, and these are normal size? Texture change is another way to make things look surreal. This is a coffee cup, obviously, with a spoon and a saucer, but the unusualness is the fact that it's made of fur, which is not our normal coffee cup, saucer, and spoon. Texture can also be applied to faces or animals or landscape. You're adding an abnormal textural look to them, such as bricks in this vase. So those are 6 different ways. I want you to take a moment now and go through your worksheet and see if you can come up with examples, specifically 3 examples for the following: juxtaposition, transformation, levitation, transparency, scale, and texture. You have 15 minutes to do this, and then you'll notice at the bottom it's also asking for you to come up with some bizarre or unusual dreams or times when you just felt something wasn't quite right, and I want you to jot those down. See if you can come up with 2 of those.